Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Whoey Ood, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast where Cam is a lifelong Whovian and I have only seen From Unearthly Child to today's episode. Cam, how you doing today?
Doing fine. I worked today, and that is
On 4th of July?
that is a statement just because it's 4th of July today, so it's a holiday. I decided to work it. So, you know, it was fine. It was a pretty uneventful day at work, but now it's 4th of July. We're now recording this podcast. I'm drinking a beer to celebrate 4th of July.
What kind of beer are you drinking?
It is a summer ale, Sam Adams.
Oh, I tried that once. It was in a can, which I've had a friend tell me never drink Sam Adams out of a can.
Never drink beer. Alcohol out of a can you just don't do bad, except for like I guess seltzers.
But yeah, I have tried their summer ale. It's beer.
Do you remember Snapple when it was in a bottle?
Sure, and it was better.
Like, it was so much better. Like, I I used to love Snapple so much as a kid, and now, like, I never drink Snapple. It's just not like, the quality of the product went down drastically when it switched from being a glass bottle to plastic.
Yeah.
But that's why bear is in a bottle, just because it just tastes so much better. But the audience, good to know that this is 4th of July. So if you hear in my background, pops, that's not an audio issue. That is because there's people setting off fireworks because it's 4th of July.
Mhm.
Because what's more American than shooting things up in the sky?
Explosives up in the sky, yes.
Yeah.
True indeed.
How was your 4th of July so far, Ben?
Pretty uneventful. I got
Mm.
called into work first thing when I woke up because, one of the projectors stopped working, and there's nothing I can do. We need a part, which I could have told him without going in when I lived, like, half an hour away, but it is what it is.
Did you clock in?
Yeah, I went there, clocked in, opened it up, said, "Yep, this part is indeed broken. We need a new one." Clocked out and left.
But anyways, this is not a 4th of July American celebration podcast, man.
True. Today, we are talking about the next exciting episode of classic Doctor Who, Season 17, Nightmare of Eden. Written by Bob Baker, all alone. No Dave Martin here.
And also his last story.
Yes. Directed by Alan Bromley, who previously did The Time Warrior.
But there's some production things, Ben. Did you see this?
I have not. What are the production things?
So basically, he couldn't get along with Tom Baker because Tom is Tom. So the director said, fuck this, and he quit. So there's a portion of these episodes were directed by Graham Williams, the producer of this era. And also that director later, pretty shortly later, retired. So you can kind of say that Tom Baker made this director go in retirement.
I guess Tom Baker's just hard to work with. I remember you telling me the last episode, Creature from the Pit, Douglas Adams had to be a mediator between him and Christopher Barry.
And this is also the episode that is cited as being, at least on Wikipedia, it said that this is cited as being the reason why Graham Williams was like, okay, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
Tom was not a pleasant man, Ben. Which is so funny because you listen to like Hinchcliffe talk about Tom. He's like, I never had any issues with Tom. Tom was great. And then it just got progressively more and more that he was on the show. It just got progressively more just, I guess it's like part of it is just like he took an ownership over the role in the show.
Which could lead to him being combative with writers and directors when he has a different idea of what the character would do and say.
Yeah.
But putting all that aside, this was broadcast November 24th to December 15th, 1979. The last story that was fully broadcast in the 70s. Next one, The Horns of Nimon, end of it will be in the 1980s. So coming to a close here.
The first 2 decade doctor.
And of course, this is on BBC One. So, Cam, what did you think of Nightmare of Eden?
So this was one of the classic Who episodes that I watched as a kid.
Yeah.
I remember liking it, but didn't remember that much about it. And while watching the story, I kind of understood why, as a kid, I enjoyed the story, but also didn't remember anything about the story because it's just kind of an okay story. There's not really, it's not that bad of a story. It's just kind of like, since it's 4th of July, let's use the most American way to describe something, Ben. Baseball. Bob Baker got up to that plate, Ben. He hit the ball, but he didn't get a double or a triple. He didn't score any points. He just walked to first base. That's all he did. And that's kind of what I feel about Nightmare Eden. It's just it's solid. It's okay. There's nothing really that bad about it. I enjoyed my time watching for the most part Nightmare Eden. I think it does kind of fall apart towards the later part of the story that my interest start to just wane. I much more found it engaging the first half where there was a little bit more mystery and I was kind of more interested of what was happening to the story. But like I feel like this is one of those cases where Bob Baker, he's been writing Doctor Who now for what? Like this is his like 7th script, maybe 8th time writing Doctor Who. He knows how to write a Doctor Who story by this point.
Ninth.
9th, Jesus Christ. So he knows how to write a Doctor Who story, and like they're never him and Dave Miner were never that great to begin with. But I would feel like with the story, you can kind of feel the absence of Dave Miner just because there's some strong ideas there, but it could have used a little bit more, some more strong ideas there to bolster this story up. Because again, it's just kind of just it's okay. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Some memorable characters, really bland monster, the Mandrels.
How dare you say they're bland, Ben? How dare you?
They are bland. As I was typing up my notes, I didn't really think about it, but talking about it being Bob Baker, it kind of makes sense looking at his body of work that there are interesting ideas here. I feel like it's trying to say something about like drug abuse, but it doesn't all really come together with an interesting plot. I
Yeah.
think I was fairly bored for a lot of this, but, Douglas Adams' Doctor is as funny as ever.
All right. See you guys next week.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful rest of your day. No, but, like, what actually is there else to say?
This is kind of one of those stories where like one first things off the bat is that it's a science fiction Doctor Who episode. A
True.
lot of times Doctor Who, it's fantasy elements, it's historical elements there. When it goes science fiction, it can be like something like a lot of season 16 was a little bit more like that fantasy science fiction of like, something like Andrew Zatara and the Reboss operation.
Yeah,
They're not as science fiction-y as something like this, where this is no, it's on a spaceship. And it's just on a spaceship the whole entire episode,
yeah.
and it's about space drugs. There is something to that the whole setting of this that I did enjoy. Just it being kind of refreshing at this point because we haven't got that. It's been a while since we got a story like this.
I guess that is true, like, Creature from the Pit is kinda the low sci-fi. City of Death is, the more modern urban. Yeah, very, very sci-fi. I guess that is a good change of pace. Well, talking about interesting things, do you think the Mandrill are interesting in any way?
Like, they're kind of interesting that like if I was paying attention enough, at the end it was revealed that they were made out of the drugs.
Yeah, or when they are, like, electrocuted specifically, I think. They, crumble into the drug.
So like that's kind of interesting there. But yeah, like the design of them, it's a weird design just because I think I understand where the person that designed it was thinking about. Personally, I think they are adorable. Like I want my pop figure of a mandrill. Like they would work so well as a pop figure.
I mean, there could be a good action figure. It has a unique enough and humanoid enough design where that could work. they just don't really do anything other than go "Roar."
Oh, Ben, they're a terrible monster, but I do find them kind of cute. Like it kind of gives the same cuteness as like the Yeti in like the 60s. It's just kind of like, oh, they're kind of adorable. They're not really threatening. They're not like I remember like, oh my god, how are the Doctor and Romana gonna get out of dealing with the Mandrels?
Mhm.
Which is one of the weaknesses of the story. Because this story would be improved if like the Mandrels were actually frightening and like there was suspense there when they were on the screen, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, they're just not it's really especially towards the end when they're just, like, herding them. It just doesn't they don't leave an impact. They're not intimidating at all. Which is unfortunate. What was the last, like, really good monster?
The Rudin. Oh, the Fendaline. The Fendaline and the Fendals I would say maybe.
Which one?
Image of the Fendal?
Oh, all the way back in season 15?
Like, I saying anything in the Graham Williams era, there's nothing in season 16 that has anything that's really that interesting. The Mervellans did?
Yeah.
The Kroll?
This is a slim pickings for monsters, and the ones that are have not gone down in history. Unfortunate, but I say this every episode. We're getting ever closer to the end of Grim Williams.
Poor Graham Williams.
Thank God.
I'm very excited to watch that documentary on the Blu-ray, because I know nothing about him. So
Mhm.
I'm very curious to see what that documentary is like. And I was wanting to watch it before we record this, but on the Blu-ray on this episode in particular, they have an interview with Bob Baker, like a modern one, like right shortly before he died. So I'm very curious to see how Bob Baker is like. Well, no, I don't know who he's like. I know how he's like. I've seen interviews with him, but like, I wonder how what information that interview would be able to give.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting. I need to look at more of the special features. I have these nice Blu-rays that I'm just watching the episodes and popping the next one in.
It's the best part of the Blu-rays, man. The collection sets. It's the bonus features. Like that's why I'm very looking forward to being in the '80s period, just because it's like that's when the special features get even more.
Because all those people are alive and
Yeah,
they can talk about it.
and they were alive during the DVD era and the Blu-ray era, so there's bonus features from both eras to watch. So it's not like the '70s. There's a lot of like, it's the DVD bonus features, and then it's like we did a couple of things.
I just miss Hinchcliffe. I was making a TikTok for us today and getting clips from season 13. And I'm like, oh, every one of these stories is better than anything I've watched in a while.
Ben, you gotta feel that way for a long time.
A long time?
Like it's pretty much recognized that like the show really only got really great again that of those highs of the Hinchcliffe era the last two
Like
seasons.
season 25?
So season 25 and 26 are the only is the two seasons where it's like, oh, Doctor got really good again.
Damn.
So get look forward to that in a year from now.
Even just having a different doctor, I think, will make things fresh and interesting.
Oh yeah, and there's gonna be at least some interesting stories there, uh, where the Hinchcliffe era, a season like I would say 16 doesn't even have a like, really standout episode.
Yeah, we'll get, little bits here and there.
But anyways, Ben, Nightmare of Eden.
Yes. What did you think of Trist?
Is he the professor?
Yes, he is the professor. The twist villain.
He's the best character in this episode.
Oh, for sure.
Um, very interesting. I love the performance by the actor, Louis
Absolutely.
Flander or Fiander. He does a great job of playing. He knows what show he's on. He's playing it campy and over the top. He's having fun with the role, and he has a good dynamic with Tom Baker. I very much enjoyed him. But also shout out to who's the captain.
Rig?
That actor is also great. I loved when he's just getting
When he's on drugs, that's pretty funny.
yeah, I was about to say, is that drugs or is did they ever confirm that he's on drugs?
Yeah, when he starts acting crazy, I guess you weren't paying attention.
Must have not been paying attention to that moment.
The like professor's assistant went to get a drink for Romana out of like the replicator, and you see Trist's hand sprinkle some dust in the drink, and Rig comes and says, "Oh, what are you doing?" "I'm getting a drink for Romana." "Well, I'll take this one." So he drinks that. We see him drinking it later, and then he's like, "I'm about to lose my career. Ha ha ha."
No, he like that whole all that bit is fantastic. And when the other leader comes in, and he's just like getting so fed up, he's just watching the people die from the mandrels, and he's just laughing still. And I'm like, what are you doing? And like, they're only economy class. It's fine.
Mhm. Yeah, that bit's funny.
You know what's also funny, Ben?
What?
That terrible chase sequence. I think it's in part two.
You'll have to describe it.
There's just a terrible chase sequence where they reuse a lot of shots. And he's just like, "You don't remember this at all?"
Not really. I literally I watched this, like, 2 days ago, and I hardly remember anything.
It goes on. He the Tom Baker goes up and down stair he no, he doesn't go up the stairs. He just keeps on going down the stairs where the guy he's chasing after takes the elevator. They get on the ship with all the passengers, and they just reuse the same shot over and over again of the passengers to be able to try to show off like, "Oh, this is like a big set of all these people," where you can kinda tell it's just like they just reuse the same set over and over again.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't notice the reused footage, though.
Well, it's not reused footage, but, like, it's just, like, the same set over and over again with the same exact type of shot.
Only thing I remember from that is the kinda conclusion to that where they go into the area where the 2 ships are merged, and it's, like, in slow-mo and with, like, different color filters over the camera. I thought that bit was kinda interesting special effect.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it when they do, interesting things with the camera. And what about Romana?
Definitely improvement of last episode. You can tell this is the Ramada where last episode felt like Ramada 1, this definitely more feels like Ramada 2, even though she's definitely not as good as, like, City of Death, but what is. Like,
Yeah,
she's a little bit more just in her dialogue is much more like Romano 2, I feel.
definitely. Yeah, she shows some bravery and initiative. I'm much more likable and interesting.
Even though she's still not given enough this episode.
No,
There's huge portions of this episode, I'm like, I couldn't even tell you what Romana was doing. I don't think Bob Baker could either.
I like the scene with her on like the bridge, and she has to push the button, and she's about to be shot. What about K9? I literally forgot he was in this episode until I checked the wiki.
Like, he's not really used that much this episode. They use him as a gun like they usually do, and that's basically it. They don't use the computer size of K9 that much.
Are you more used to David Brierly's voice?
Yes, but also I still don't like it, but I am more used to this episode, but I think it helped that he wasn't in the episode as much as he was in Creature of the Pit, or at least I didn't feel it as much as or
Yeah.
how much he was in Creature from the Pit.
Yeah, the doctor mostly just sends him to do very specific things, and then we don't see him for a while.
Yes. Alright, Ben. Is it time for best and worst special effect?
I think it is. So, what's the best? Like I said before, I like the times when the doctor's going into the unstable sh- area between the ships,
Especially, I would say, at the Cliff 3 cliff the Pot 3 cliffhanger.
where he like phases out of existence.
Like, that's the best special effect.
Yeah, that looked good. Worst, my gut instinct was the Mandrel, but then
Yes.
I remembered the plant they fight in the Eden simulation.
I would also say the model shots of the ships.
Mhm.
They were not particularly great this episode, but I think overall, because it makes the worst impact of the whole story, it's the Mandrill design.
Yeah. Speaking of about the ships, I watched this, no updated special effects. I could never really tell what was happening with the ships. It's kind of hard to parse that information. I saw
I agree.
a little snippet of the updated special effects. It actually looked pretty good.
Mm.
Much easier to, like, you see the ship separating. There's, like, little shiny bits where the ships are, like, overlapping. It looks all not bad, but the original ship models, yeah, definitely down there. So, what does this story need to fix it?
Need better mandrels.
Yes.
It needs like the mandrels being a threatening presence in the story, I think would help a lot to carry this. I think also if we had a little bit more of a conflict with maybe the professor and the captain, or like when those other people, what were they exactly? Like is that whether the people from the other ship,
What people?
the people that take over command of the whole story in part 3 and 4?
Oh, the, like, police?
Yeah, is that like, is that from the other ship?
I think it was from Earth or wherever.
It wasn't clear to me. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to when they explained that, but, like, maybe if they were more of a threatening force, maybe at that point of the story, if we got, like, the people that they were gonna sell the drugs to, and, like, they wanted their drugs and, like, they didn't care about the people on board, so, like, there was a little bit of a conflict there. Something else, and, like, it needed a little bit more like where the police guys came, it needed a little bit more than that, because that's the story. That's the part of the story for me where it really like it goes from like, oh, okay, this is solid to like, no, this is just pretty forgetful and just okay. It's like through part 3 and 4. So like they need something in that halfway point of the story that makes me go, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Now what? Now this is what? How's the story gonna go?
Yeah. Just adding those, "Here's 2 guys that think the doctor's up to no good," doesn't really change enough to keep things interesting. Maybe if they did, you know, something more with the drugs, the
Yeah,
Viroxoin, like, what if the doctor gets drugged? What if
yeah. And
Romana
like
gets
it, what if the doctor gets drugged, right? And it's like, but for a Time Lord, it's, like, fatal. So then Romana has to come up with some anti-poison for the drug.
or if the doctor just doesn't care about what's going on, and Romana has to, like, try and snap him out of it.
Okay, that but also, like, I can see the implications of that, though, that, like, "Oh god, the doctor took drugs."
Yeah, they probably don't, as much as that would be interesting from a modern standpoint, they probably don't want the main character of their family show doing drugs, even if he's, like, poisoned.
Yeah. Alright, Ben, give us the cliffhangers.
Alright, 1, a mandrel appears out of a hole in a wall.
Ah! The mandrill!
2, the Doctor and Romana enter the Eden simulation.
Ooh, what's it gonna be out there?
3, the Doctor seemingly phases out of existence as power is restored to the ship.
Whoa.
What's gonna happen? Probably the 3rd one?
Oh, no, it's the 3rd one.
Yeah. So, Cam, what would you rate this episode?
Don't think at the end of the day, this isn't as good as I prefer Invisible Enemy. I give Invisible Enemy a 6.8, so I'm gonna give this a 6 point. It's better than V-Boss Operation, though. Like, I rated V-Boss Operation a little bit too high. Cause see, yeah, that's the hot thing about the Grand Williams era just isn't that great. That's the problem. I guess I'll do 6 I'll do the same, so it's gonna be 6.7.
It's slightly better than Creature from the Pit.
I don't think that's that hard, Ben.
Nah. Is this better than Androids of Tara? I guess. Is this better than Mask of Mandragora? Sure. This is a 6.6 for an average rating of 6.65. And Doctor Who Magazine does a poll every, 5 to 10 years. Most recently in 2023, Nightmare of Eden was rated 33 out of 41. In 2014, it was 34. In 2009, it was 35. And in 98, it was 37. So consistently upward trend, though still pretty low in the bottom quarter. of things. Right above Invisible Enemy and right below The Leisure Hive, or one that we have seen right above that, Revenge of the Cybermen.
which makes sense. In 2014, when last time they did a foot poll, it was ranked number 190. So in between Night Terrors and in between Planet of the Dead, which are both bad stories. So it kind of makes sense as kind of fits right in the middle between those.
Mhm. Well, I guess that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, we will be discussing the horns of Nyman. So be sure to tune in for that.
See you then, ladies and gentlemen.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out, everyone.